Now, I think it's only reasonable that I should allow myself the occasional rant, and so today I'm going to have a little rant. Bear with me. What's set me off this morning is I've just received an email notification of a parliamentary question that was asked, a written question. This is often a process that is used by parliamentarians to ask the government specific questions that they want answers to. I obviously monitor these questions, see what's going on, see if they're talking about motorcycling in any way. Now, I don't know what you think about high visibility clothing when it comes to motorcycles. I think, yes, it makes sense to wear high visibility clothing in certain circumstances, just to increase your visibility on the road. But the real question is, a bit like crash helmets, should it not be mandatory for motorcyclists to wear hi-vis? Now, this morning there was a parliamentary question that came through to my attention. Now, this question was asked by Munira Wilson, who is the Liberal Democrat spokesperson for Education, Children and Families. And her question was to ask the Secretary of State for Transport what assessment she has made of the potential merits of requiring cyclists and motorcyclists to wear high visibility attire after dark. Now, as you can imagine, MAG, an organisation set up in opposition to the mandatory crash helmet law, we're not overly keen on the idea of mandatory high-vis either. So what was the response from the government spokesperson? So the response came, the written reply came from Simon Lightwood, who's the Parliamentary Undersecretary for the Department of Transport, and he, to be fair, did say that the government has got no plans to mandate the wearing of high visibility clothing for cyclists or motorcyclists. But what got my goat was the reasoning for this, because part of the logic that was provided for this was any change to these rules would need to be carefully considered to ensure that it was proportionate and enforceable, and that it did not have unintended consequences such as putting people off cycling. Now, why is it that nobody ever mentions that there's something like this might actually put people off motorcycling? A bit like the mandatory crash helmet law. Would that have any impact on making motorcycling less popular? Nobody asks these questions, but they always ask the question when it comes to cycling. Obviously, as we know, crash helmets are not mandatory for cyclists, and what's often put forward as the reason for that is that if you made them mandatory, it might put people off of cycling. Why is this? This is just blatant disregard for the interests of motorcyclists. It is blatant discrimination, a blatant unfair and unbalanced approach to policy making. Why does this persist? So what do you think about mandatory high-vis? Is it something that high visibility clothing you think should be made mandatory? I have no issues, or Mag certainly has no issues with high visibility clothing. If people want to wear it, they should have the choice to wear it. But what we're discussing here is making it mandatory. Should it be a mandatory requirement? Happy to hear your comments. Please do put some responses in the comments section below.